So just to recap what we have discussed till now, right? So just to recap what we have discussed till now. So we have discussed on the various things, right? So we have discussed on creating the application, and after creating the application, we have seen the context dictionary. As part of context dictionary, we have the primary context, secondary context, and associated data. So then we have understood the car model, NBAD template, which is getting installed with the application creation itself. Then we have seen the association rules, right? The association rules between the primary context and associated data. Same way, secondary context and associated data. So then we have enabled our ADM services. We have the ADM, DDS, RTDG, all these things. Okay. So later we have created the business taxonomy. So as part of the taxonomy, we have understood three components. One is a business issue, second is a business group, third is the proposition. So you have the business issue, which is the purpose of the promotion, business group, which is the category of the promotion, and we have the propositions. And under propositions, you will have the attributes. So consider a scenario where we are promoting a credit card. So we have created a business issue as sales, which is the purpose of the promotion. Under sales, my category is credit cards. Under credit cards, my credit card name is some Visa credit card, right? And in that Visa credit card, we created some properties also yesterday, like the monthly EMI, credit card monthly fee. So these kind of properties also we have created, which is nothing but the characteristics of the proposition. For example, if you are promoting a laptop, you will have the properties like the price, color, make, etc. Right? For example. So and we have seen the SR class, right? So when you create at least one business issue in your application, then automatically the SR class will be created. So what is the full form of SR class? Can anyone tell if you
Strategy
remember?
results.
Results.
Yeah.
Correct.
Strategy result.
So yeah, correct. So SR class stands for strategy result class. This is the special class for PEGA decisioning only, right? Same like how you have work class for your development, integration class for your integrations. SR class is for PEGA decisioning, which store all your rules. And the parent of the SR class is, do you remember any one of you?
Data strategy. Data hyphen strategies.
Yeah, data hyphen PX strategy result.
Data hyphen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't remember also, you can always open your SR class here, which will be application ID dash SR. So you see application ID is what? CDH. So I'm just typing CDH dash SR. So then I can see all the business issues CDH dash SR dash business issue dash business group. And the parent of all these classes is data dash PX strategy result. Okay. So in this class only all our properties are present. The OOTB properties I told you, right? Business issue is present in PY issue, business group is present in PY group, right? And propositions are present in PY name. So you need to remember all these properties. Okay, at least whichever I am discussing in the session, please remember those properties. Okay, just you need to append PY. Most of the time it will work. Okay, PY issue, PY group, PY name. So this is what we have seen till the last session, and we have also seen how do we import and export the propositions, right? In real-time project, that's how you do. Okay, because you are not going to do everything one by one. Generally, they will share you the export Excel file, which contains the propositions and the custom properties that you can simply import into the proposition data. Right, that's what you will be doing. In case if you are not using Ops Manager, okay. With Ops Manager, the procedure is again different. But basically, you can simply click on the import button here and you can import all the propositions at bulk. because there will be hundreds of propositions. Okay, so this is the PY issue, this is the PY group, and this is the PY name, right? That's what we have seen. Okay, now what we'll do today, we'll just start with a simple strategy logic today, and in the coming sessions we'll see more advanced strategy logic. But today we'll be starting with a simple strategy logic. So we have some issues present. We have some business issues there. That's a grow. Under grow, we have credit cards. Under credit cards, we have some 4 credit cards are there in our application. So using that only, we will create the strategy. So strategy is the decision maker in entire PEGA decisioning. The most important feature is strategy. Okay, so basically the strategy is the decision maker. Okay, strategy is the decision maker. So I told you, right, PEGA decisioning will identify the next best action for a given customer, and PEGA marketing will simply deliver that. So who will identify means clearly to say strategy. So strategy is going to make the decisions for a particular customer, what proposition we need to send. Then that will be sent to the customers in PEGA marketing. That is what you do. So it's very important. Strategies are also very important topic in PEGA decisioning. Most important topic is strategy only. So you can create strategies from intelligence strategies. Here you can create, or you can go to the prediction studio, and from here also you can create the strategies. That is, if you go to the dev studio, again I promised, right, all PEGA decisioning you can do in your personal edition also. So when you go to the dev studio under decision category, this is where you can configure the strategy. Okay, it's up to you whether you want to do from there, from here, both are same, both will be fine. So whichever is comfortable for you, you can do it that way. So since we have CDH installed already, I'm creating from here. So go to the intelligence strategies. Okay, that's what you have to do. Okay, so whatever the strategies that you see here, most of them are already auto generated while creating your PEGA CDH application. Most of the strategies that are being displayed, all of them are actually auto generated strategies while creating your application. So once you go to the intelligence strategies, click on create, then click on start with new canvas. That's what you have to do. Okay, so so most of the time you will be keeping the strategies in this particular class. Okay, okay, that is in data dash decision dash request dash customer. So I'll tell you again, this class will discuss in detail what is the purpose of this class later. Or you can also keep your strategies in your customer class. So basically this is my customer class. So how do I identify? How do I identify that this is my customer class? You can always see that in the primary that context dictionary. So when you go to the App Studio, so majority of the time you will be keeping the strategies in the primary context class. Okay, majority of the time. So when you go to the App Studio, if you go to the settings, this is where you have the context dictionary. So within the context dictionary, you have the primary context, secondary context, and associated data. This is my primary context, secondary context, and these are the associated data. So when you click on this gear icon, you can see the class name of this primary context. You see this is the class name. So majority of the time when you are doing some custom logic in strategies, you can keep that under your primary context, which is customer in my case. Again, I told you, right, all these classes, tables, everything will be automatically created with the car model, which is also installed in your wizard. Right? We have seen the car model and all those things. So please go through if you don't remember. The car model only will install all the classes, tables, properties, and everything. Okay. So now if you go to the CDH back, I'm keeping the strategy under customer class, and generally strategies in all the projects you keep it under artifact set. Okay, so that is one of the thing that you need to remember, what kind of rules you keep it in artifact set. So one kind of rule that you will be keeping is strategies. Okay, artifacts rule set purpose is to store the auto generated rules, right? That's what we discussed. By default in CDH, in some of the features when you are doing some changes, automatically some rules will be auto generated. So those auto generated rules will be storing in artifacts rule set only. So that's the reason we have to keep the highest version unlocked, so that we will not get any error while auto generated rules are being created. Okay. So now here we selected the class name as customer, artifacts rule set, and here I'm giving it as business issue as grow, business group as credit cards. So what is the purpose of this selection? I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you in few minutes. So I'm giving the name of the strategy as first strategy, and I click on create and open. So remember, while creating the strategy, I selected the business issue as grow, business group as credit cards. So what is the advantage, or what are the consequences of selecting the business issue and business group while creating the strategy? Okay. So what you need to remember is very important thing. For example, you selected the business issue as grow and credit cards. That means the strategy can output only the propositions that belong to grow and credit cards. That means the entire logic which you are doing here will focus only for grow and credit cards. You see it here. So depending on the selection that you do while creating the strategy, this business issue and business group will be decided here. So if you can see here, this business issue and business group is disabled. That means I cannot import the propositions which belong to some other group. For example, I have acquire, I have debit cards, housing loans, some other groups are there, some other issues are there. I cannot modify that because we have restricted the strategy results to grow credit cards only. That means I can use only the propositions under this issue and under this group only. I cannot use the propositions in another issue and another group. That is a disadvantage, and that is what you need to carefully do while creating a strategy. So when I'm selecting grow and credit cards, that means my strategy logic is primarily focused on uh, this particular issue and that particular group only. Okay, my requirement is only to configure the logic only for this issue and this group. Then only I need to select like this. If my requirement is where I need to use the propositions in another group like acquire, etc., then I cannot do that. Okay. So for example, while creating, I selected the business issue and business group as grow and credit cards, right? So that means my strategy results class, that is CDH-SR, is restricted to CDH-SR-grow credit cards when you select like this. Now let us say I don't select anything. So then I will again create the strategy in the customer class. So if you see now, I'll try to import the propositions. So if you double click on this, you can see now I can select the propositions from different groups from different issues. So you see I can select, for example, acquire, and from acquire I can select some deposit accounts. Of course, there are no propositions, but I'm able to select the propositions and the business issue and business group from different things. Right? There is no restriction here. In this case, the strategy results class will be directly CDH-SR. Okay, so are you able to get it what I'm telling? So it's very important that when you are creating a strategy, you need to know the which propositions you will be using. And if you are using only from grow and credit cards, that means your logic is specific to only this issue and this group, then only you need to select it. If in case you will be using the propositions from other issues and other groups, then better to not select anything. Okay, so if you are confident that you are using the propositions only from this issue and this group, then only you will select it. Clear? Is it understood?
Yes.
Okay. So, for example, sometimes you will get requirement on credit cards. That means customers whose city is some India, they only should get credit cards. That means purely my requirement is focused on credit cards group only. So in that case, I can directly select this and I can proceed. So right now, that's what I'm doing here. Let us call it as some credit card strategy this time. Because we are purely creating the logic on credit cards only, not in other issues and other groups. So now we can import the proposition data. So what this import proposition data will do, it will simply import the propositions. Okay. So whatever propositions are there that you created, that will be imported. So these are the results. Basically, propositions are the output of your strategy. Okay, propositions are the output of the strategy. Okay. So by default, you will have only the results, which will be the final component in the strategy. And this entire area, you call it as strategy canvas. Okay, this entire area you call it as strategy canvas, and these are the components. Okay, these are the components, and this is the canvas. That's what you call it. Okay. Now I'm just opening the proposition data and I'm saying import all propositions. That's what I'm doing. So in order to define the logic in the strategy, generally you will be adding the components. So these components can be added in two ways. You can click on the plus button and then you can select the component that you want to add, or you can also right click and like this also you can add the components. Okay. So once you added the component, of course you need to connect them, same like your process flow, right? So same like your process flow, that's how you do it. Then you can save it. So right now we don't keep any logic. We did not keep any logic. In the strategy canvas, we just imported the propositions and we connected to the results. That's it. Okay. That means we are just sending these propositions as output of the strategy. That is what we are doing here. Okay. That is what we are doing here. Now, let us say this proposition is having too many components. You have this mini map on the bottom where you can actually drag your map to see the other components, because in this particular screen you can maybe adjust only some 10 components, right? If there are more than that, it will go to the below or top. So at that time you can actually drag and drop this mini map to see the components which are not there in the screen. So that's what you can do with this mini map. Okay. So then the next thing is, we have two types of selection here. One is the select mode, second is a pan mode. So you can actually select the component like this and move this here like this. Okay, and for example, the proposition went like this. So you can also use the pan mode. So what is the pan mode? Is the pan mode will move the canvas up and down, left and right. Okay, by using the pan mode you can move the canvas and also you can select the components. But with the select mode, this is select mode, you cannot move the canvas. You can only select the components like this. Okay, you can only select the components like this with select mode. So this one is the select mode, this one is the pan mode. Okay, but with pan mode you can do both the things. You can select it and you can also move the canvas up and down, left and right. All these things you can do with this pan mode. So now how do we run the strategy? Let us say I have configured this thing. I just imported the propositions and I configured to the results. So basically the strategy output will be always propositions. Okay, that is the output, main output of strategy. So in order to run the strategy, you need to click on this arrow mark. Okay, you need to click on this arrow mark, and then you can run the strategy. So the strategy can be executed in two ways. One with single case, second is with batch. So case in PEGA decisioning means customer. Okay, case in PEGA decisioning means customer. So when I say single case, that means run with a single customer. So when I say multiple cases, run with multiple customers. That is the meaning of that. Okay, case in PEGA decisioning is called customer. It's not the regular cases that you create in PEGA development. That case is different and this case is different. Okay, so you will create the strategy. In order to run the strategy, you will click on this icon and then you will click on the run button. Okay, so these options we'll see in the coming sessions, data transform, data set, and all these things. But you'll click on this icon and you'll click on the run button. So now you can see that I got four results, right? You see, I have four offers, right? You see this one, I have four propositions: standard card, rewards plus card, premier rewards card. So that's the reason I can see four propositions in the output also, right? You see, first one is standard card, second one is rewards card. So I got four results. Third one is rewards plus card, and fourth one is premier rewards card, right? So that is how you will be configuring the strategy and running the strategy. So one you can run with single case, that single customer, and second is a batch, which is running the strategy with multiple customers. There is more than one. So when you run it, the output will be the propositions that you are keeping in the strategy. That will be the output of the strategy. Okay, clear till here? Any questions? Any questions still here? No questions? Okay. So just we are getting started with strategies and strategy components. That's what we are doing. So just I'm telling that this entire thing, the white color background, it's called as a strategy canvas, and these are the strategy components. Okay, you can add the components by clicking on this plus icon and clicking on the component and releasing the mouse. That is one way. If you don't want the component, you can right click and you can delete it. Okay, so like this, you can click right click and delete it. You can also copy this. You can copy and right click and paste. That also you can do. Okay, so like this also you can do. Okay, but this is how you add the components. You click on the plus button and you can add it. Same like your process flow, right? In the process flow also you'll have this plus button like that. Along with this, you can also add the component by right clicking and adding the component. This way also you can add the strategic component. So once you added the components, you need to connect the components using this line, right? Using this solid line. Using this line, you need to connect it. Same like the process flow. And to run the strategy, you need to click on this toggle. So you call it as arrow toggle, or you can call like toggle side panel, whatever. You can just call it as toggle also. You'll click on the toggle and then you click on the run button. That is how you run the strategy here. Okay. So we will start with some simple components, and we will see the advanced components also in the coming sessions. So just like your comments, right, in your activity, we have the comments are there. That means you will write a description of the step. In the data transform also you will write the comments, which indicates what is the logic that you are writing, right? That is a indication, right? Here also you can do that comments thing by using this component called annotation. So this annotation component will allow you to describe what is the logic that you are doing here. So this is purely optional, but it is a good practice. If you do it, the purpose of this is you can provide some description of the logic that you are doing, because right now it's a very zero logic, right? Nothing is there. But in the future, when you are configuring some complex logic, it is better to use annotations so that you can describe what you are doing here. So for example, right now what we are doing, I'm saying uh, import credit cards to offer the customers. So that is what I am writing here. So just some description, some comment, what is the purpose or what logic you are building. Because in real time projects, there can be some very complex logic creation. So others cannot understand easily, right? So that's the reason it is a good practice to add annotations wherever it is possible. But this will have zero effect. Even if you don't add also, it will not impact the functionality. This is only for other people to understand what you are doing, just like a good practice. But without that also, that is absolutely fine. So this is called as an annotation here. If you want to increase also, you can increase the size like this. If you want to keep more data, you can do it like this. Okay, that's what you can do. Clear till here? Any questions?
So Harsha, for this proposition data and the result, I do see Premier Reward Card as a default. Uh,
Nothing like
why is that?
default. Nothing like default. So it will show the propositions one by one. Okay. We just stopped at premier rewards card. That's it. So if you see, for example, I run this, you see
Mhm.
standard card came right first. So whichever is the first proposition that will come first in your list, in the same order how the propositions are listed, in that way only it will come. I think the last one where we stopped is in the fourth proposition we stopped it here. That is the reason
Understood.
it is showing like this premier rewards card.
Understood. Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So how your propositions are listed in the group, in the business group, in the same order, the propositions will come in the results also. Of course, you can change it and you can customize all those things, but in the same order, how the list is there, in the same order, these propositions will come. Okay. Now, for example, we'll just add one small filter here and just understand something. Uh, so what I'm doing here, I'm just adding a small logic where I'm adding a filter. So this is a filter component. So again, you need to search the components and categories under which category the component is there. So this is present under arbitration. Okay. So what does this filter component will do? So what does this filter component will do is this filter component will filter the results which are not matching the condition, filter condition. Okay, so in the filter component, you will add one condition. For example, let us say you created some properties, right, like monthly EMI and all those things. So you'll say filter with dot monthly EMI greater than 100. Let us say some propositions are there less than 100, they will not come in the output. So the filter component will filter only the results which will satisfy the filter condition. So let us keep something. What I will do, I'll just say, I'm just double clicking on the filter, and here I'll say filter only when the PY name equal to, I'll say, premier rewards card. So again, you need to remember all these properties, very important. PY name, PY issue, PY group, PY channel, PY direction, right? So as you practice, you will only remember automatically. Okay. So PY name is what? PY name is proposition name, right? Proposition name. So I'm saying send only premier rewards card. That is the name of the component I'm giving. Send only premier rewards card. So what I'm doing here, I'm just filtering only the proposition equal to premier rewards card. PY name equal to premier rewards card. So that what I told you the filter will do, the filter will only filter the results which will satisfy this condition. Whichever the results that doesn't satisfy the condition, it will not output that. It will not output that. That is what the filter component will do. So let us see that. So I'm just doing save and run now. So you see now I'm getting only one result, that is premier rewards card. All the remaining three results are gone. Okay, because the remaining three results did not satisfy this condition. So I have selected py name equal to premier rewards card, filter only that. So as the name clearly says, right, filter, what it will do, filter will output only the results that will satisfy the filter condition. So only one result satisfied the filter condition, that is Premier Rewards Card, which is a PY name, right? This is a PY name, PY group, PY issue, right? PY name, PY group, PY issue. So I selected PY name equal to this. So I'm getting only one result in the output. So this is my final output component, that is results. So whatever is in the results, that will be the final output of the strategy. So when I click on this, right, I can see only one result. Clear on this filter component. So whatever component satisfy this condition, right, only that components will be coming in the output. Remaining will be filtered out. That is what the filter will do.
Since
So,
filter is nothing but when rule.
sorry, can you be loud?
Since filter is acting as nothing but when rule.
Yeah, similar to that. When rule, similar to when rule only. Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so like I told, filter will filter only the results that will satisfy the condition, the filter condition. Remaining results will be filtered out. That is what the filter component will do. And so very important thing is, how do I debug a strategy? For example, let us say I have given Premier Rewards Card, PY name equal to Premier Rewards Card. That's what I have given. But somehow, in worst case or in impossible case, I am getting output as standard card. So even though I have given the filter as Premier Rewards Card, but I am getting the output as standard card. How do I debug the strategy? How do I trace or how do I debug the strategy? So this is very important thing because you cannot see the strategy output in the tracer. Even if you try to run the tracer and click on the run button, you will only get something like strategy started, strategy ended. That's it. But you will not be able to see the component by component output. So how do I debug the strategy is, you need to basically click on the component. So, for example, I am expecting standard card as output, but I am getting Premier Rewards Card as output. That means my expectation is different and the actual result is different. So what you can do is you can click on each and every component. So you see here, when I'm clicking on this first component, I can see there are four results are there: standard card, rewards card, premier rewards card, and rewards plus card. Four results are there here. And when I click on this component, I can see only one result is there here. So that is how you debug. So the strategy will give the components, strategy will give the output at each and every component level. That means till this particular component, what is output, it will give here. Same way, till this particular component, whatever output is there, it will give here. So that means when you click on each and every component, you can identify where the output is getting changed. So like that you need to debug. So I'm here, I'm getting four results and I'm expecting four results in here also. But when I click here, the output is changed from four results to only one result. That is premier reverse. So that means there is some logic involved here. That is how you need to debug. So you need to click component by component and you need to see where the output is getting modified. Okay. So for every component, the output will be there. Okay, every component will have the components output at till that particular time. Whatever output is there, that output will be displayed when you click on that. That's what you see, right? I click on here, I get four results. I click on here, I'm getting only one result. So that means there is some logic present here. So this is the culprit, or this is how you need to debug the strategy. Clear? Because
Ravi,
actually, sorry.
Ravi, one doubt, Ravi. Actually,
Yeah,
we wrote this filter condition, right? Is this kind of a logic or it's different scenario?
so it is some kind of logic only, right? So
Mm.
based on the requirement, this is also one kind of logic.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So let us say I'm just keeping the condition like PY name equal to Premier Rewards Card. Let us say I'm saying something like some other condition. That means I want to output only the uh, credit cards with the cost greater than some $100, something like that. So that also I can keep, right? That also I can keep because as per my requirement, only the credit cards which are costly, that should be sent to the customers. Let us say that is my requirement. Okay, whichever credit cards are costly. So when I say costly, that is more than $100. Only that only I need to send to the customer. So then I'll keep the condition like this. Now, whichever credit cards are having less than this, they will not be outputted. Only which is greater than this, that only will be outputted. So of course, I think the properties are removed, whatever we created yesterday, but when you are practicing, you can use the custom properties also. Whatever the custom properties I created yesterday, right? Like monthly EMI, customer monthly fee, like that. So those properties also you can keep as conditions and you can test it as a requirement. Okay, anyways, all that requirement is there in the exercise. So please practice that. You can easily practice. I'm hoping that. But I'll share it because I think most of them enrolled today and yesterday only. So I'll share it to you in the WhatsApp group if needed. Okay, so we'll just stop here. I will share the exercise to every one of you in the group and in the classroom. Please spend some time to practice till whatever we have seen today. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? So just we started with strategy and we'll see more components tomorrow in the strategy. Yeah, please practice the exercise. I'll share it in the group. Please practice that. It is very important that you practice everything that we are sharing. So then only you can remember all the things. Okay. All right. See you all tomorrow at same time then.
So like we can use the same instance URL that's shared here.
Yeah, you can use that. You can use that same thing. But only thing is, like I told you, right? The application will be different. Okay. For example, in the exercise, I told to create telecom application, but here it is a banking application.
Banking application. Okay.
Right. That's the only thing. If you want to practice that part, you can do it separately. But you can practice in the same cloud only. You can practice there also, whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What
So
would be the username and the password?
yeah, it is. I'm pasting in the chat. Decisioning architect and password is rules. This is the one. Okay. Yeah, that is a username and password. Okay. So just stay tuned with the WhatsApp group. I'll share it to you and let you know once it is done. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow.